Good Sunday morning, everybody. It's an Arctic blast down here, unusual. Last time we had a cold front or a cold like this was, I think, 10, 11 years ago. They said it wasn't down here at the time, but let's get into technology stuff and certifications and stuff like that. It's still a big deal. A lot of people are confused on how to do this, how to do what. Everybody wants to be a hacker. They see things on TV and they hack, and they go on YouTube and it's like, well, this is how you hack. Or they go on these articles and they want to hack, and they get caught and they end up in jail. It's like, well, wait a minute, I didn't do that. Well, what you didn't do is your research. What you didn't do is you didn't understand the basic networking. You didn't understand the basics, for one thing. Anybody can go online, look at some code, look at some commands, start typing in some commands, and you'll get into a place, or it's not going to be that easy. But you didn't hide yourself. You think you got into a hacking, but you didn't hack into anything, but you thought you did, and you were fooled on that kind of thing. You got to start with the basic technologies. You got to start with the basics and do the basics. You got to understand how networks work. You got to understand how laptops work and computers work. You got to understand how to do simple troubleshooting and things like that. A lot of people don't know how to do that kind of stuff. I basically want to take the research out of your time and put it into my time. I've done everything, all the research, made the connections and everything like that on how to get people into cybersecurity. Not so much cybersecurity. I look at it different between cybersecurity and IT. I'm more interested in IT. I'm more interested in the configuration and the networking side of it rather than the cybersecurity stuff and everything like that. I have no interest in that. As far as I'm concerned, the cybersecurity thing, cybersecurity side anyway, is a failure. And you can see it on news every day. Breaches, hacks, things are happening, and it's not getting controlled or anything like that. It's not because the website went down. It's not because it's not the IT side. It's not the networking side. It's not the configuration side. It's the cybersecurity side where the failure is. That's where the failure is. But you got to put in the time to get to where you need to be. If you're not happy in this situation, or you want to improve yourself or anything like that, and I'm not here to preach that kind of thing. My whole premise of this whole video and this whole channel of doing things is to take the research away from other people having to do it, from Googling, YouTubing, and everything like that. Put it on my channel on how to get into IT, how to get into cybersecurity, what it takes, and everything like that. For this weekend, what I was doing was, not just because it was cold out all weekend, but I'm focused on getting this Network Plus certification, and I want to get a CCNA. Yesterday I was hoping to have CCNA 2 books delivered, and it became a disaster. Here's what happened. Friday I ordered 2 CCNA books, and I overnighted them, and they were supposed to be here yesterday morning. Followed it on the tracking, and I was supposed to be the next delivery. Went down to meet, never showed up or anything like that. And then it came up, it was undeliverable. It got turned away at 8:40. It got returned. Well, up until 10 o'clock, it was still deliverable. I was still the next stop. Made a phone call and everything like that. Long story short, it came back to where I talked to logistics, talked to customer service, both waste of time. And what happened was the driver determined that the package was damaged. So they took it back, and then the facility determined it was damaged. There were 2 books. They were books. It wasn't plates or anything like that. But the kicker was the driver decided. The driver decided that it was damaged. Rather than just bring it to me, have me come down and look at it and say, no, I'll accept it. That's not how they do it. The driver makes the call. So now the driver decides what is good for me and what's bad for me or anything like that. So that was protocol. So the driver took it back, called back. So now I got to get a rebate. They're going to rebate it. 3 to 5 days it takes to rebate. They can take the money out of your account milliseconds. That comes out, but it takes 3 to 5 days to get it back in as a refund. So it was a whole disaster. They couldn't overnight replacement because that's not how it works. They couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's why I don't like customer service. This is why I think customer service needs to be out of the equation, and more of people's accounts need to be put into their hands, and more on the decision of the user, more decision on the account holder, more decision on the customer themselves to decide what is good, what is bad, and everything like that. But It comes down to accountability. Accountability, and that was the whole premise of me telling that story. It comes down to accountability. When it comes to networking, when it comes to cybersecurity, when things don't work or anything like that, sure, sometimes hardware fails, software fails, nothing you can do about it. Sometimes laptops go down, equipment goes down, hardware breaks and everything like that. Those things happen. But it also comes down to a situation like that where it came down to accountability, and it came down to the right protocols being in place, and there was no protocols in place. There was nothing in place. It's just that that's not an option. That's not an option. That's not an option. This is how it's done. Deal with it, basically. But I see a lot of people on LinkedIn and stuff, and they're either passing their Network Plus, or they're getting certifications in general. A lot of people are passing their certifications, A Plus, Security Plus, Network Plus. Not so much CCNA. They're getting other certifications. Some of them are getting degrees and everything like that. You can do a ton of research. You can go all over Google and stuff like that. But I'll put some links in the description section down there on basically I've taken the workout of what you need to do if you want to get in Network Plus. Even if you want to get into cybersecurity or something like that, but networking or anything like that, it's a vast majority of what can be done or anything like that. But what I do is I have it all right here. Pull this out. I have this study guide right here. You can see it's that thick. It's about almost 1,000 pages of that. I break it down chapter to chapter. I have an earlier video of how I break down my books and everything like that. Get the objectives. This right here tells you what you need to do to pass the exam. It breaks it down on a bunch of things right here, different things on what you need to do each section on how to break it down and pass your exam. This right here, I found something for this notebook here. What I'm doing is I'm writing out turn it upside down here, get it on there. I'm not a great video editor, but what I'm doing is I found a site where I can do simulations and does flashcards and practice questions and stuff like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm running out all the flashcards. What it has is the question, true or false mainly, or it has a simple question or anything like that, and you put in the answer and everything like that, and you hit flip, it flips the card and it shows you what the answer is. So I'm writing that in this book right here. This notebook right here is what I'm using for at the back of the chapter of that, on the back of each chapter of that study guide are exam essentials. There's lab scenarios and stuff like that. But what I'm doing is I wrote through the first 12 chapters of the exam essentials. I just went to the back of the chapter, wrote out the question, wrote out the answer, and did that. And these are the notes. Fix here. This is the notes for the Network Plus right here. All these. Let's see if I can get this in focus here. This is what it looks like for. Get it in focus here. Just bear with me. For the Network Plus, and it breaks down through that. That's what you got to do, and you got to use your spare time to get this kind of thing. Some people, they can just go through maybe a month or so, get it, go past the exam. But the big thing about the exam is the great thing that I discovered from the way I do my study techniques is another big thing for it is the interviews. The interviews that when you may pass the exam, okay, you know the exam. And just like in high school and stuff like that, you pass the exam and you forget about it. You pass the test and you ain't worried about that chapter anymore, stuff like that. A little different with cybersecurity. It's different for IT and everything like that, because some of these right here, like let me run a scenario down on one of these things in here. I'll just pick one that I ran through today. There's some interview questions that you can go through. There are there's one person that I follow online who does interview questions. He does scenario interviews and stuff like that, what you might be involved with when you go into the interviews and stuff like that, and a lot of it is on that. Now, to get around the resume is what I'm understanding is resumes are a thing in the past when it comes to IT and when it comes to cybersecurity and everything like that. Basically what they're looking for is what you can do when you show that online, what you're studying for, how you're studying for it, what you can do. If you come across lab essentials and lab simulations and stuff like that, Do a video of you going through the process and learning how to do this, how to configure this, how to configure that, how this breaks and stuff like that, because that's the biggest thing they're going to want to know. They don't care mainly that, okay, you passed the exam, you got the certification, but do you know anything? Yeah, you can pass the exam, but do you know anything? And some of the questions, I don't know what some of the questions are, but any of these questions can come up. That's why I'm writing out the exam essentials on the back, because they're actual questions with answers. They may be an interview question. Something on here like this. Let's see if I can, there's screens and stuff like that that'll come up for commands and stuff like that, where they'll ask you, okay, well, what command is this? And it'll just be a result of what came out. IP addresses, IPv4, IPv6, and stuff like that. Can you find the global address? Can you find this part of the address? They'll have a front part and a back part. Same thing with an IP address. Same thing with a MAC address. There's a front part and a back part. The front part is for one thing. The back part is for something else. And it's all broken down. And when you go into these command prompts and you do these commands and stuff like that, you run these tools like ping and nstop and everything like that. Well, what are you looking at? Okay, the screen came up. What exactly are you looking at? What is this screen telling you now? And stuff like that. And they're going to say, well, okay, well, you just passed the exam. You don't know this? That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing with IT and cybersecurity is you've got to stand out. That's the biggest thing. Like on here, which TCP IP well-known port number identifies simple mail transfer protocol, which is SMTP. It's port 25. Ports are a big thing. If you're looking at these screens and stuff like that and you're seeing all these ports are listening, ports are waiting. Well, what exactly is that? What are they listening for? What are they waiting for? This is an open port. This is closed and everything like. They're going to want to know this. Each interviewer, each recruiter is going to want something different. So the whole point of doing this is to not just pass the exam, but you have to know this stuff. And they may or may not just ask you a few questions or anything like that. They may ask you, what are you looking for to get into? They could ask you anything. I see it every day online. People talk about recruiting, how bad it is for IT, how bad it is for cybersecurity, and how these recruiters do, candidates wrong and everything like that. So it's just ridiculous what you got to go through to get it. I've seen where people have put, and I get, okay, well, they're not going to hire the first 3 people that apply or anything like that. That's why you have to stand out. That's why I'm going to try and do more on this channel and everything like that, to try to take what I see, experience, and try to help. There's a lot of people that are in IT. The great thing about IT and cybersecurity is the people that have been in it and stuff like that, even newcomers, try to help others along and look at what they've done, what they've experienced, what they've researched, what helps them, what doesn't work for them, and they put it all out there and they try to show people how to get into IT, because IT is a big field, cybersecurity is a big field, and it's the future. You look around and technology is replacing anything. You may not think about it when you scan with your phone or you pay with your phone online or anything like that, and you auto log in on sites or anything like that, or when you open up an app and you do something on there. That's all technology. That's all networking. Somebody has to set that up. Somebody has to make sure that runs good, so you have it all the time when you want to click on it and stuff like that. That has to be secure. Somebody has to make that secure. That's all technology. That's all networking. And just because you use those apps or anything like that to pay things and stuff like that, the more and more technology replaces things, that's where the money's going to be. That's where it's going to be. It's going to be basics. It's going to be upper level. It's going to be senior level things and everything like that. It's all about networking. It's all about connecting to get into a field where, jobs are, everybody wants money. Money is always the thing. And you have to know how to do this technology. Robots are replacing things now. I don't think so much in the US, but again, it all comes back to somebody had to configure that to make it work. Somebody had to secure that to make it work, to do what it does. And that's where technology comes in. That's where the future is. You look at these, it used to be where people working in gas stations or working in fast food and everything like that was a guaranteed job and stuff like that. It's not anymore. self-serving in department stores, self-serving in grocery stores. Everybody pumps their own gas now. You don't even have to go in and check out anymore. You can just put it on the phone. You can open up an app, and you could just pay that way. Put in a certain amount on the. I do it with my laundry. I put in money on the app, and it runs through Bluetooth, and I just go down. I just type it in. It connects to the machine, and boom, I hit start, and the wash is being done. Same thing with the dryer. It does it. Technology. Somebody had to set that up. I don't need an attendant down there. They're not paying an attendant down there to take care of the machines. They're not paying somebody to pump gas. They're not paying somebody. People are being eliminated. It's all going to be technology. It's all going to be remote. A lot more people now are working remote. And how great would that be, where I know down here in Florida it rains all the time. It just constantly rains. It don't even have to be in the forecast. Now it's cold and stuff like that. But imagine you get your certification in anything, A plus or anything like that, and you can work from home. You can work remotely and make a great living doing that. You wake up in the morning, you got your coffee going, and you're at your laptop. Here's what they need you to do today, and you just go do your job and stuff like that. You're sitting there with your coffee and everything like that. Much like when people work in offices and stuff like that, they got their coffee, they got time to go to the coffee machine or the break room or something like that. They go to the bathroom and stuff like that, and they do everything. You could do all that at home. But back to the weather thing. Imagine you wake up for work and you don't have to sit in traffic no more. You don't have to take the buses no more. You don't have any of that commute. I see all that. A lot of these people are talking about that, where they love that they don't have to commute no more. They love that they don't have to be on a crowded train no more, or wait in traffic for 45 minutes to an hour or anything like that. And regions where it's snow and ice, and they don't have to go out and drive in that. But here when it rains so much and you have to wait for a bus, and you look outside the window and it's storming out there, the wind is blowing, the rain is just coming down, and the lightning, and you're like, wow, I'm glad I don't have to go out in that. Now, a Wi-Fi connection, has to be good too. You have to have a great connection, but Wi-Fi connections go down. Again, it comes to troubleshooting. A lot of times you could just fix that yourself. I've done it several times. Wi-Fi keeps kicking out or won't connect or anything like that. Couple checks here, couple checks there, about a minute's time, boom, my Wi-Fi is back up and running. Little things like that help you stay in control and help you keep moving on and stuff like that. So I want to try to get back into that with this channel and try to get back into things. If there's things that you're looking for to get into it, hit me up with comments or anything like that, saying, hey, I'm looking to get in. I may not have the answers for it or anything like that, because it may not be a field that I'm looking to get into or anything like that, but I could find out in a matter of no time at all. I could just connect with somebody that's already in that field. I can connect with somebody that knows somebody in that field or has done research and everything like that, and I can post that answer in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel and hit me up with those comments if you're interested to get into here. Any kind of questions with certain things, if you're trying to configure something, if you can't figure something out. I'm not interested in questions where, how do I hack Facebook? How do I hack this? How do I hack that? You know what? Go hack it yourself, okay? Go on YouTube, figure out how to hack stuff, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, when the marshals or the state police knock at your door and you're being arrested for cyber crimes, that's a 10-year prison sentence. $250,000 fine, 10-year prison sentence, because you thought you were a hacker and you didn't really do anything. And trust me, the only hackers that are being hired by the government and the Defense Department and all these high government agents and everything like that are not somebody like you. Okay, they're hiring real hackers. They're hiring top-notch people that can break into systems and everything like that. Just because you cracked your girlfriend's phone or anything like that, or cracked her email or anything like that, or logged into her Facebook page or anything like that, that doesn't make you a hacker. Yeah, that's weak kind of stuff. There's videos of that all over the thing. I just did a thing the other day, go on a Try Hack Me site, which is a great starting point for wanting to get into anything that I just mentioned earlier for networking or cybersecurity or anything like that. It shows you basic hacking and stuff like that, but you're hacking their system. You're hacking their machine that they set up, and it shows you the basics. It gives you the visual of what these screens look like. You know, when you do this, okay, you type in this command, this is what it looks like. This is where you go from here, type in this command. It shows this kind of stuff. And it doesn't make you a hacker or anything like that. You might take that stuff and go, okay, well, now I can hack. No, that's the greatest thing. And the other thing too is I came across a guy a couple years ago I was going to team up with. He was going to do a business for cloud infrastructure and stuff like that. He's been in the business a long time and was great with Linux, was great with running these hacker tools and stuff like that. And he was showing me how to do this stuff. I was getting set up with high influential people in the cybersecurity world, you know, major industries of antivirus companies and, you know, senior engineers and senior this and everything like that. But here's the kicker. I was good with troubleshooting side and everything like that and all that other stuff. And his computer wouldn't boot up. Didn't know what to do. He was going to put it in the shop and he was going to pay like $100 for it because that's what they charge. And it was going to be about 3 or 4 days before he got it back. That's a simple fix. Now, if you're a hacker and you can't fix that, yeah, you may be good when your laptop's up and running, but here's a situation where now, okay, your laptop's down. You put it in the shop to get fixed. You're not that good then. It's a simple fix to do that. You could have been up and running in less than a minute. I got him up and running and did it and fixed a couple other things and got it running a little faster and everything like that. And he's like, well, what'd you do? I'm not going to tell you. So this video got a little longer than I wanted to and everything like that. I tried to shorten it down a little bit, but I wanted to get caught up, get everything going on and everything like that. But the biggest thing is I want to let people know that hit me up in the comments of what you're looking to get into. How do you get into here? How do you get in that? I'm not going to answer questions. I'm not a hacker. Look, you know, I don't look into hacking. I'm looking to get into that sort of stuff and everything like that with Linux and Kali Linux version 2 and everything, but there's tools to do that. And I've learned how to do a couple things with URLs, and I've learned how to do a couple bypassing and stuff like that, little things, nothing major, on how to bypass the logins on websites, how to manipulate URLs, how to do certain things and what to look for and everything like that. Some things I already knew, where to look and everything like that, but this just furthered that kind of thing. And it's not going to work all the time. Sometimes you can do it. There are sites you can go to that show vulnerabilities. There's one site that shows you default passwords. A lot of people don't do default passwords. They don't change it. There's a site that tells you what the default passwords are. There are things where it's all comes down to networking. It all comes down to cybersecurity. It all comes down to basics. But the biggest thing is I'll try to do another video later on today. I want to get some more studying done. I want to try to get some try hack me stuff done, and I'll try to do a video of me going through a process of one of the try hack me scenarios and stuff like that. And I'll try to go through one of my scenarios on the lab scenario for the Network Plus on configuring routers or something like that, or configuring this and configuring that. Because if you don't configure it right, you know, when it comes to a laptop, it comes down to the basic again. Basically, you're configuring, and there's a lot of stuff where if your laptop dies or anything like that, when people get a laptop, they pull it out of the same thing with a phone. They pull it out of the box, they plug it in, they connect to the Wi-Fi, boom, they set it up, and boom, they're good. There's a whole process you got to go through to where you don't lose things or anything like that. And a lot of people just can't go out and buy another laptop, just can't go out and buy another phone. Who wants to do that anyway? There's a whole process of what to do, how to do things or anything like that. So hit me up in the comments, subscribe to my channel, and help me get into the rotation, get a bigger audience and stuff like that, and let me know what you want to see or anything like that. I'm not going to get into the whole video processing and the whole video editing. Like I see a lot of these top-notch people, some of these people have like $50,000, $60,000 studios, but the whole process of doing that, I notice a lot of people that have been doing it, they're getting tired of doing the whole processing of editing and stuff like that, because some of them say it takes an entire morning for them to do it, to get it right and get everything set into place and everything like that. One guy who does great videos and stuff, what he's doing now is he's just doing live events. He's just doing live streams because he don't want to do the editing no more. It's gotten to a point where it just gets old. So I try to keep my videos simple. What I'll try to do is add some things in between here and stuff like that, some photos and everything like that. But as far as subscribing to or setting up an account for some of these video editing sites and everything like that, where you pay like $300 for the year or $199 for this, or you're paying $79.99 a month for this, and all this other kind of stuff, it just kind of makes no sense for that, for IT and for cybersecurity and everything like that, for doing basic trainings videos and stuff like that. It makes no sense for that kind of thing. So let me get off of here. Let me get another coffee. Let me get set up with what I want to do for next video and everything like that. But again, let me repeat this again. What you're looking for to get into. If you're somebody that's looking to get into IT, if you're somebody that's looking to get into cybersecurity, if you want to get into that field or anything like that, and you don't know where to go or anything like that, just hit me up in the comments. Hit me up with where do you find information for this. If you don't want to do the Googling or anything like that, Google's a great source. Even IT people and everything like that, they do Google. Google's the best thing that ever happened, to find these things. There are also sites where you can hide yourself. You can hide your IP address, that you can hide this and everything like that. If you want to hide your browser history, if you want to hide this and everything like that, there's simple things like that a lot of people don't know. It's a whole world of just basics that people don't know, and they get themselves in trouble. And I'm not speaking from a criminal standpoint or illegal activities or anything like that, or trying to spy on people or anything like that. I'm not getting into that. I'm just looking into, if you want to keep your privacy private and everything like that. There's there's things you can install and everything like that that prevent tracking and stuff like that. There's settings that you got to go to that prevent payment card tracking and everything like that. Most of that's set at default. You've got to change that kind of thing, and it prevents you from getting hacked and all this other kind of stuff. So again, subscribe to my channel, hit me up in the comments, and I can put you in touch. Even if you're already certified, if you've just got certified, if you're looking to take your test or anything like that, I'm hoping to take my test in March. I hope to take my test in March for my Network Plus. And the great thing about what I've got with my networking and everything like that, with my connections and all this other kind of stuff, is I think once I get certified for this, I think I got a lot of people that are going to get me into the IT world. I think a lot of people are going to get me into that. There are a lot of people, high-level people, that are waiting for me to get that certification, and that's what they do for this field. Once you get everything like that, and looking, a lot of people comment for visibility, and it introduces them to their network and their people. And when somebody in their connections say hey, I got something for you. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And they'll start you off with the basics. They'll ask you, like, again, going back to the interview questions, or they'll sit you down and say, okay, here's what I'm looking for. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And say, yeah, I'm good with this and this and this. That's what it's all about. Don't worry so much about that resume anymore. From what I'm saying, as far as IT and cybersecurity, they want to know what you can do. That's what they want to see, because that's what you're going to be doing. Anybody can put up a resume and get by on a resume, and they can just squeak by and answer a few questions. If you have a bad recruiter or anything like that, they say, okay, well, we'll hire you. Then you get in, and they want you to do that. Well, on your resume it says this and this. Oh yeah, I was studying for that, but I stopped. Well, not only did you waste their time, but now you're wasting your time, and it makes no sense to do that. A lot of them say just apply anyway. Sure, you can do that, but it's, to me, it seems like kind of a waste of time to do that sort of thing, because the whole point of doing it, don't just study for the exam. Okay, study for the exam, but study for the job as well. Because when you, like I said, what my study techniques and what I'm doing and everything like that, I'm studying for the job. I'm looking to work remote. I want to wake up out of bed, and unless I have to do a Zoom meeting. I actually did a Zoom thing, my first Zoom one, a couple weeks ago, Friday night, with other high-level tech people. One woman is big in the tech field and everything like that. She's a They have a CISO. She's like a BISO. Um, CISO is Chief Information Security Officer. She's I don't know what the B stands for anymore because I've never seen it. But she's one of those. She's a public speaker. She travels the country speaking on cybersecurity, what's wrong with the industry and everything like that. She gets paid for this. Industries and companies hire her to come and speak to their people to do that. I was able to sit in on one of these a couple weeks ago. This is what I mean by networking. Getting involved, and I was sitting in her group. It was just a laid back kind of thing, you know. Everybody was home from wherever they are and everything like that. We're all talking on Zoom, doing video chat and everything like that. We're typing in, we're talking to each other and everything like that. But it's networking. They get to see what you're doing, that you see everything like that. And even if you're not up to their level, they may look at us like, well, here's a person that's trying. Here's what this person's doing, and everything like that. They may bring you in and train. That's what it's all about: getting in the door, getting in front of the right people. That's what you got to do with IT. That's what you got to do with cybersecurity. Don't worry so much about the resume. Focus on getting in front of people, because that person, you may get in touch with, like with me, when I get certified. When I pass this exam in March, they might not even care about my resume because they've seen what I can do online. They've watched my journey of how I studied, what I've been doing, what my study techniques were, what I've been doing online and everything like that. And they say, okay, well, this guy's a perfect fit. We've seen him do this. We know he can do this. We know he can do this. Who cares what his resume says? The only thing they're going to do is probably the background check to make sure you can get security clearance. Some jobs have security clearance. Okay, fine. So they do the background check. So maybe you spent an entire weekend doing your resume. They didn't even look at your resume. They didn't care because they saw what you can do online. They've talked to you. They've talked to you online. They've chatted with you and everything like that in chats, or they video chatted with you, and they understand. Okay, well, I've basically met this guy. I don't care about his resume. This guy's a fit. This woman's a fit. She can come in and do this kind of stuff. We've seen what she can do. We've seen what he can do. These are the people we want to see. Who cares about that resume? They'll do the background check. If you need security clearance, they'll do the security clearance. Maybe not a drug test. I'm guessing they do that. But other than that, they don't care about that resume. That's what I'm trying to do with this video. That's what I'm trying to do for people, because people do it for me online and stuff like that. There's other people that one guy does for, he helps people get interviews. He's actually helped people get jobs doing the same thing. But his thing is more, his scope is more different than mine. He more does help desk kind of stuff and answering for questions, you know, when you ever call customer service and everything like that, Active Directory kind of stuff and help desk kind of stuff. That's where his focus is, and trying to get people into that. Mine's a little different. Mine's more based towards Network Plus, trying to get people into working into like data centers or network operating centers or security operating centers and stuff like that, where you're actually monitoring the equipment, configuring the equipment. Sometimes you might have to answer calls and stuff like that from another database, or a customer may call up, or a system administrator, network administrator may call up and say, hey, I've got this situation going on here. My server's doing this or this and this and this and everything like that. And what you'll do is you'll punch up on your monitor. You'll gain access to a server. You'll see what's going on and everything like that. And that's the kind of thing that I'm looking to get into. That's the kind of thing I want to try to help people to get into through my research, my study techniques, my connections, and everything like that. And when somebody like that calls you up and says, hey, and then you look at their monitor and say, okay, well, here's what's going on. You explained it to the person and tell them what's going on and everything like that. Maybe right from there, you can fix it right from there, but you got to get their permission. Say, okay, here's what's going on. Nothing to worry about. All I have to do is change this configuration, restart this here, and what I have to do is I have to change this IP address, or here's what's happening here. You're getting flooded in this part of the network. How about we do this? How about we transfer the traffic that's going into here, break down the traffic here, and have it spread out over here and everything like that. And then do that, and then see if it works. And if it works, okay, you fix it right from there. You didn't have to go anywhere or anything like that. You fix it right from home, or you fix it right from an office. And this person that called you, You may be in Chicago and this person called you from Dallas, Texas, and you sat right there at your desk and you didn't have to. All you did was sit on the computer, type it in, went out, boom. Not all the times could be that easy, but that's just a generalization of some of the things that you can get into. Sometimes it's got to be a lot quicker than that. Sometimes it's a lot more disastrous than that. But you're part of entire teams that are doing this kind of stuff. So that's what it's all about. So let me get off of here. Again, I'm going to say it again and keep repeating it. Hit me up in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Watch my videos and stuff like that, and go through, and maybe there's something you want to see, and maybe I can do it, next weekend or something like that. I usually try to get them done on the weekend and everything like that. But if there's a question that you have, or there's anything like that, or what you're looking to get into or anything like that, I can get back to you pretty quick. If you're looking to take your A+ exam, or you're looking to get into cybersecurity or CCNA, or you're looking to get into this or anything like that, or what's a great channel to, or what's a great study technique, or what's this or what's that, or anything like that, question me in the comments, and boom, I'll get back to you real quick. And if there's a link that's needed, I'll post a link for you right there, and you can go from there, and then let me know if that worked or not. If that didn't work, hit me up and say, okay, well, I tried this or anything like that, and I'll try to keep it free. Because free, there's a lot of free out there. TryHackMe is not even expensive. It's $10 a month. And it gives you access to everything. It gives you hands-on experience with basics, and then it gets up to more and more levels of things on how to do things, but you build on that kind of thing. And TryHackMe is a good resource to put online, showing, okay, well, I'm level this on TryHackMe. A lot of people do that. I'm in the top 1%, I'm in this and everything like that. I'm right now in the top 5% of TryHackMe. I've gone through, I think 40 rooms or something like that, and I've gotten one certificate up on the wall from that back in, I think, October. I got that. I just completed a course for Network Plus on Udemy. I'm doing practice questions and stuff like that. These flashcards I'm doing now, I'm writing them all out, the essentials and everything like that. I'm going to spend the entire month of February just reading, going through these lab essentials, going through these practice labs, going through these lab simulations and everything like that to get fully ready. And then what I'll do is I'll go back on that course, and at the very end of the course there's an actual practice exam that kind of prepares you for the real exam. It's actually timed, and I think the real exam is 90 questions, 90 minutes, multiple choice, drag and drop, some scenario questions and stuff like that you have to know. But on the practice exam on the course, I think it's 120 minutes, and I think it's 90 questions or something like that. But it gives you a good idea what you're looking into and everything like that. So again, hit me up on this kind of thing, and we'll see where we can go.